Hey, I'm Courtney, and today we're going to be doing a Walking Dead theme cake. We're going to be doing Negan's bat, Lucille. Okay, for this you're going to be needing a 10-inch and a 6-inch cake. I'll put my recipe down below. I've already cooked these though, or you can use whatever recipe you want to use. But I'll put mine down below so you'll know exactly which one I used. And for this, it was on one batch, and it filled both of these to what I needed. Alright, for this cake, we'll be doing a simple white icing because it's going to be covered in fondant. So, you're going to need 1.5 sticks of butter. You're going to need 2 pounds of powdered sugar, which is about 8 cups. Then you will need 2/3 cup of milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and that's all going to go in our icing. And then we will need brown fondant, and then I did it's supposed to be gray fondant. I put black in this, and it really looks like purple, so it didn't really turn out the color I wanted. So we're going to be using a luster dust that is silver, and we'll be painting that on for the barbed wire onto our black. You will need black food coloring. You will need brown food coloring. You'll need a knife or a cutting instrument to cut around your fondant. You will also need 2 different cookie cutters. This one is 2 3/4 inches, and this is 2.5 inches. You will also need a serrated knife. This one has very small teeth, and I really like the way that you can shave it off and it doesn't take off big chunks. So I really like that one. But then you will also need a rolling pin, and I have a mat here underneath this that I'll be rolling out my fondant. I also took and covered a board with just white fondant, and that's what we're going to be laying our cake on. You will also need a painting brush to paint on our silver on our barbed wire, and also we'll be painting on some brown on the bat. Alright, so we're going to start with doing our icing since we already have our cakes done. Alright, we're going to start with our butter, which needs to be at room temperature, and we're going to mix it till it's smooth, and then we're going to add in 2 cups of our powdered sugar. Okay, just add 2 cups in for right now, and mix those in. Okay, now that our butter is nice and smooth, along with our 2 cups of powdered sugar, we're going to take our vanilla and put 2 teaspoons into the milk. And we're taking gradually add this in till it's all mixed in. And just keep pouring it a little bit at a time. Okay, then we're going to start adding in our powdered sugar till all of it's combined in with our butter and milk. Okay, now that our frosting is done, we're going to take and we're going to cut our cakes out. Okay, we're going to take our 2 3/4 inch cookie cutter, and we're going to cut out as many as we can. And I was just kind of twisting it because just a little bit, because with this cake it's kind of coming apart, so it might make it a little easier if you twist it back and forth, depending on what kind of recipe you use. And if it comes apart, that's okay. We can just fill it in with some more cake. Okay, and then we're going to use our 2.5 inch on our smaller one. Okay, we're going to have 7 of our 2 3/4 inch cutouts, and then we'll have 3 of our 2.5 inch. So we're going to put these in the fridge for about 20 minutes, let them chill, and then we're going to carve them and ice them. Alright, now that our cake is out of the refrigerator, we're going to take them, we're going to lay them on their side. And we're going to start with the larger ones. Now, I've got them all lined out. I've done 6 of our larger circles at the top, then our 3 smaller ones, then another large one. And I'm going to leave it on this board before I transfer it over to our board that already has the fondant on it. Alright, our 3 smaller ones are going to be the handle. So we're going to take them, we're going to shave just a little bit at a time. And we're going to kind of taper it. So that it all flows together. And just start at the 6th one here from the end. And you're just going to start shaving it to kind of go into the smaller ones. But we're also going to take a little bit off of them. Like I said, you just want to kind of taper it in and just do small bits, a little bit at a time. And you want to make sure it's rounded and not square. And do not cut this end one yet. There'll be very little bit of, just a tad bit of it shaved off. Alright, at the end, we're going to take and we're going to round the top off and kind of angle your knife like this. Curve around. Alright, and then here at the end, we're going to take just a tad off. Just a little bit off the top. So that the end is not as big. Like I said, you just take off a little bit at a time till it all kind of tapers down. Alright, now we're going to transfer this over to our other sheet. And just put a little bit on the bottom and just put some frosting in between each layer. Oops, I keep forgetting. Let's see. Okay. Now you're just going to take and kind of smush them together. Alright, now that these are lined the way I want them, I'm going to take and I'm going to cover this entire thing with frosting. I'm going to lay it on pretty thick because I don't want to move the cake too much when I'm spreading it on, especially on the pieces that we had to shave quite a bit off. It'll just be easier so it doesn't crumble. I finished icing it, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to take it out and touch up any places that is really thin on icing, and then we're going to cover it in our fondant. Alright, this is out of the refrigerator, and I put it just a little bit more icing on some of the spots, and then now we're going to take our brown fondant and we're going to roll it out to cover the bat. Okay, now that our fondant is rolled out, we're going to take and we're going to put it onto our bat, and I fold it in half, then just like that. Then just start smoothing it all the way around. And then you start cutting some of the excess away. Just be careful not to cut your fondant on the bottom. And I'm going to take and put this against the bottom to make a better edge. Alright, we're going to start with our gray. And we're just going to cut off a little small portion. Roll it into a ball. And then start rolling it so that it goes into a thin line. For the barbed wire, we're going to take and we're going to roll a piece out. Take a little bit off. And you're going to take and you're going to roll it. Leave one end sticking up. Roll it a couple times and then make the other end stick up. So it looks like real barbed wire sticking up. It should look like that. Okay. Alright, we're going to lay this to the side, and then we're going to start painting on our bat. For this, we're going to need a piece of wax paper. And we're going to lay it right next to the bat, so that when we paint, that it doesn't get on our white. And for this, we're going to take some of our brown. Just put a couple drops. Then take your vanilla and put a couple drops with your food color. And you don't want it too thick, you want it enough so when you put it on, it just kind of goes on pretty smoothly. And we're just trying to make this look like a wood grain. And that's why the fondant didn't need to be a darker brown, because we're just going to paint it. But if you don't want to do this painting, you can make your fondant a little darker. Now we're going to start taking our barbed wire, and we're going to start running it onto our cake. And just go in different directions. Our barbed wire is on, so I have made a mixture of the silver dust, just a tad bit of your black food color. Just dip a toothpick in it, just get a little bit on the tip and put it in with a little bit of vanilla extract, and it really goes a long way. And like I said, you don't want too much black in it. You just want to give it a little bit of a tint to make it a little more gray. And then we're going to take and we're just going to paint this on our barbed wire. And it'll give it more of a gray, shiny tint. And for the last thing that we're going to need for our cake is going to be some fake blood. Alright, we're going to blend all this together in a blender. We're going to do 1 cup of corn syrup, 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of red food coloring. The last ingredient is 1 tablespoon of Hershey's syrup. We're going to take and blend this till it's all combined. This looks really gross. Oh wow. This looks real. It smells good though. It smells like chocolate. Yeah. If you don't like blood, I'm going to do this part. I'm just going to take some and just drip it over the bat. Here's our Lucille. We'll see who she takes out in the new season and see who survives. Thanks for watching. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe.